G'day guys, in this video we'll be giving you a fully featured walkthrough on this amazing MOOER product. We'll turn some knobs, talk about a few of its best settings and try and get some great tones out of this thing. If you like videos like this, please like, subscribe and most importantly leave a comment with your thoughts. Now without further ado, let's jump into today's video.
Yeah, thanks Travis. Today we're looking at the GTRS guitars from MOOER. They're the intelligent guitars that have the built-in multi-effects and amp modelling inside them. This absolute beautiful guitar I have in my hand is the M810 in Blue Burst. Alright, so these guitars come in a few different models and we're going to show you some of those models as we go. This one is, like I said, the M810 in Blue Burst. It's an outer body, it's got a poplar burl top, it's got a roasted maple neck, rosewood fretboard. It's got black hardware, this one, and it's got GTRS pickups. The bridge has got a tremolo on it, and it's got silver jumbo frets. So they all have 128 effects in them, 52 inbuilt amplifiers, 25 inbuilt cabinets. You can also put 10 of your own GNR files and 10 IR files. You can get those actually for free off the MOOER website. You can use your own IRs if you have third-party IRs, not a problem. It also has 11 guitar sims, which we'll go into a bit later on. You can make this sound like a different style of guitar. It has 40 drum patterns. It has an 80-second looper and Bluetooth 5.0. The new update that's coming very, very shortly too has the AI preset and AI stem features. We've already done a video on these two features. We can put the link below and you can check those out. It's a really, really cool thing to have. And the GTRS is getting that as of the 22nd of June 2026. You're also going to be able to use NAM A1 files. So that's like a global file that's now being used all over the world. You'll be able to upload those into your spots. So basically there's rechargeable. They've got their own inbuilt batteries. You can get 2 hours charge will give you 12 hours of actual life if you want to switch the guitar on and use the super knob. Now you can actually use this as a standard guitar. You don't have to turn the multi-effects on. If you want to just play this through your old school amplifier or your own multi-effect devices, you can. It's a beautiful guitar, absolutely stunning to play, and we've done a great job with these guitars. They're really, really built well. So you can actually, like I said, use them without the super knob. What the super knob is though, it's actually this knob down the bottom here. So if I switch this on, going to light up. Now what this will actually do, it will allow me to get 4 different sounds that I've already built accessible just by pushing this knob. So each time I push it, it changes color. You can see that there. So that gives us 4 presets. So a preset is basically when we make a bunch of sounds, we save them the way we want them to be, and we save them in a certain position. With just this guitar alone, you can access 4 of those preset sounds without opening a tablet or app or anything like that. All your sounds are edited via your phone or your tablet. Really, really easy to do. I believe there's a PC editor as well, and that basically allows you to build your sounds. It's got a built-in headphone amplifier once you turn the super knob on. So you can play this in the middle of the night just by plugging a set of headphones in. You can play as loud as you want to and nobody will actually hear you. You can also Bluetooth music into it while you're playing with your headphones, so you can jam along to songs without having to buy a separate headphone preamp, which is awesome. The USB port on the bottom of this guitar can also be used as an interface straight into your computer to record into your DAW or whatever you want to use it for. Comes in a really nice gig bag, really, really padded, very, very solid, well built gig bag. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the app very shortly. We're going to show you how to build your sounds and how the app works. And then we're just going to play some sounds at the end of the day. We're going to use some of the looping functions, some of the drum functions. We'll show you a few of different versions of this GTRS. All right, guys, so we've got a couple of models here in front of us. This is the 800s. You can check this out here. Beautiful seafoam green colour. It's got a really nice cutaway at the back there. High quality build. Really well finished. It's got the two single coils and the humbucker. And of course, it's got your super knob, which you can switch on and off. Just like we are going to show you very, very shortly. All right, then we move to the 800 Pro. These also come in a huge range of colours. So you can get a bunch of pastel colours, but you can also get like a gold top and a beautiful sparkly red guitar. They all have the same app throughout, essentially, and software. These series, the 800s, do have a slightly different preset build from the factory, but the newer ones have slightly different updated models. This is the 800 Pro. So this is a high quality guitar. It's got a really nice roasted maple fretboard. It's got locking tuners. It's got the Wilkinson trem. And of course, you can see the magnificent finish on it. Once again, single coil humbucker. You can use it with or without the super knob. It still has those built-in effects. Stainless steel frets. Absolutely gorgeous guitar. All right, this is a modern version. This is the M810. You can see it's an older body with a poplar burst. Beautiful wood tones on that one. This one's a twin humbucker setup. So three-way selector switch and of course 3 different knobs with your super knob here to switch it on and off. Beautiful build, still got the locking tuners. You can see the back of the neck there with the inlay. It's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous guitar. Much more of a modern shape as well. Really, really beautiful fretboard. Plays like butter. Absolutely gorgeous. All right. And check this one out. This is the W series. So this is the wireless, the 900 series. It's actually got a wireless built-in sender. So it will actually automatically connect. You do get a receiver with this actual guitar. So you can turn up anywhere and just plug the receiver into an amplifier or whatever you're playing. And the guitar has a built-in wireless signals that will basically connect to that. It also has the tube tuners at the bottom here. You can see it's headless. Really high quality build. Big scoop at the back there. Absolutely stunning paint job. And also the roasted maple neck, as you can see. Stainless steel frets, and they're slightly fanned, but not more of a multi-scale realistically. So once again, you got twin humbuckers, 3-way selector, tone, and your super knob. Anyway, we're going to go and check some of these out. We're going to dive into the app and we'll show you how to use it all. All right, guys, so we've connected our guitar to our app, and I'm just going to show you how to use the app briefly and some of the features. At the top here, we've got some details. We click on that and it actually gives us the detail of the guitar that we've connected to. So once we actually enter the app, you'll see I'm actually going to get the picture of the guitar I'm actually using at the same time as well. On the faceplate, it just has the original GTRS models. All right, so we click on the folders. Basically, it's our tone library. This is a quick way to access some sounds from the MOOER cloud. Once we've signed in and created an account, we can just jump on to the MOOER cloud. We can try out other people's presets and also some other people's samples, some amp captures. And basically, if we like any of those, we can actually download them onto our guitar, and then we can actually use those in our own software. We can edit them, and we can do whatever we can do with the ones that are already in here. So let's just jump back out of there. Down here, we just have a mixing section. It's a quick way to get to it. So we can actually stream Bluetooth music through the guitar into whatever speaker we're running it through. Or we can actually have it, if we've just got it running into headphones, we can actually stream our music into the guitar and come through our headphones. So if we wanted to jam in the middle of the night to some other song, we can actually do that. We've just got our Bluetooth levels there. We've got a USB level. If we're recording and we need to just, back it off a little bit or raise it a little bit, we can actually, adjust that there, the amount we're sending. We've got our guitar level there, which is basically how that relates to the other ones in the mix. And then we've got a main out, which is how much we're sending to the speaker or whatever we're plugging into. So if we jump out of that, you can then see the spanner at the bottom there. If we click on the spanner, that takes us, you can see I've now actually got the guitar that I'm holding right there now. It takes us into this screen here. Now this screen here gives us access to everything else. One thing I quickly want to show you is this little question mark icon up the top there. So if you're not sure about anything on this screen or anything in the app, you can click on that and it will give you these highlights. And if you click on the highlight, it will tell you exactly what that's going to do. Really handy in case you're, not quite sure how to get to a certain, place using the app. So let's just click out of that. Click back on our question mark there. So at the top here, we've actually got the name of the preset we're currently on. So if we click on that, you can see we've got all of our presets here. Now what our presets are is they're basically a whole bunch of settings and modules that we've created and we've saved into a certain position. So let's just change that to that one there. So if we go to our GTRS app like so, it'll take us back to our main screen and we can disconnect if we need to. All right, so here we have our guitar showing all of, basically that we're the current guitar we're using. If we click on the super knob there, which is obviously the same one that we have on the guitar, you'll see it takes us to our effect chain. Now all across the top here are our effect modules. And if they're lit up in blue, that means that they're on. So in this particular patch, we've got an overdrive or a boost. We've got an amp, a cabinet. We don't have dynamics or modulation on because they're actually not lit up, but we do have a delay on. One handy feature about this app and this particular system is if we want to drag the delay somewhere else, we can. We just click, hold onto it, and then we can move the delay wherever we want it in the chain, right from one end to the other. Now, let's just take an example of the overdrive here. So we've got an 808, which is basically, built off a tube screamer at the moment. If we click on the arrow, it will give us options to a few different types of drive pedals or boost pedals, which is more of a clean type boost, or fuzz or distortion type pedals. Same as amplifiers. We click on our amp. We've got a Mark V clean. If we want to change that, we can just click to the amp. Got some low gain amps, high gain amps. The GNRs are the ones that you can actually get off the MOOER websites for free, and you can actually save 10 of those in here. Same as your cabinets. So we can click on our cabs and we can save some GIRs, which are basically captures that are on the MOOER website for free. And then if we want to make any adjustments, then we actually make them down here. So let's just say we want to turn our amp gain down. We can do like so. And then because it's an amp, it's got a few extra parameters. We just click the arrow there. Click the arrow and we can go back. Alrighty, and it's the same for all of these, basically these modules. If we want to switch it on, we just push it twice and it lights up and then it's turned on, as you can see. So let's just check out one of the or two of the delays. At the moment it's an analog delay. If we click on that, we've got digital, real echo, a tape delay, a modulation and a reverse delay, etc., etc. We click back on our GTRS button, we come back to this screen here. All right. This is a way we can upload one of our sounds to the MOOER cloud, and we can also access the cloud again from this particular screen if we want to. If we want to save some settings, then basically we can just click on that. It'll ask us where or what we want to call it, and we can change that if we want to, like so. Let's just call it B. And then it'll ask us where we want to change, where we want to save it. So we can just click on that and we can save it wherever we want to. And then if we want to save it, we just press OK and it will put those sounds into that position. We're not going to do that right now. Let's just jump out of there, cancel that. All right, now at the bottom, we've got these three icons at the bottom. So this one here is for connecting to our Footswitch. This is the GW4 Footswitch. It's a wireless rechargeable Footswitch from MOOER. I don't have it switched on at the moment, but I will switch it on right now. So basically this Footswitch was originally designed for this guitar. And what it does is it gives you access to not only the 4 presets that you can access with the super knob on the guitar, but also every preset. So for example, if I change this now, you'll see it's changing the actual presets. But if I want to go up to bank 1, I can push the 2 of these together and push it again and it'll be on the next bank up.
And you can access all the banks this way. You can also use this to access your looper and obviously drums. You can use it to be your loop pedal, so play, record, and stop and delete. And then you've got a drum tap tempo and then a drum on and off, which is super handy, really handy to use for rehearsal or open mics or anything like that. So that's our blue foot switch. You can see it's lit up there. If we click on the icon, basically shows us our foot switch there. If we're connecting the foot switch to the app, make sure we click that little icon in the center, the blue one there. We also have to have our location on our tablet, and then you'll find that this connects quite easily. Alrighty, let's just head back. We'll press our GTR. Now down here, we've got our settings. The settings basically gives you access to a whole lot of really cool features. So jump into our global features. So we've got our output mode, whether we're plugging the guitar into headphones or into an amplifier or into an interface or a mixer. Then we've got global settings. We've got a global EQ here. So if we've made our sounds to sound a certain way using our speakers at home, but then we go somewhere else and we find that they're a bit too bright, we can actually use the global EQ to make our sounds correct, and it will adjust basically the EQ of all of your presets in one go without having to go into your presets and change them one by one. That's a really, really cool feature to have. All right, then we've just got our input gain setting there, just in case we want to back that off a little bit or increase it, depending on how much signal we want to kind of send. All right, guys, and our last setting is the super knob mode. If we click on this, you can see we can assign what we want the super knob on our guitar to do. We can make it change the 4 presets that we've chosen, or we can actually make it do a tone capture on and off. So if we click on tone capture, and then when we push our super knob, it will actually turn the tone capture on and off. We can also use our toggle switch, whether it's a 3-way or a 5-way toggle switch on our actual guitar, to switch between 3 different modes that we've chosen. So now that I've switched that on, let's just go back out of this setting. You'll see here at the moment, it says 52 telly. If I click on that, you can see I've got a 3-way pickup switch on this actual guitar. Now, if I scroll down to 3, you can see it changing there. If I want to basically have access to I want to make my guitar sound like a Telecaster, but I want it to have the neck, middle, and bridge positions just like a normal Telecaster, then I can save the Telecaster into these 3 positions. If I want to have 3 different guitars in those positions, I can. So let's just put let's put a 58 Les Paul into this position instead. Then what will happen is, as I switch my pickup selector, whatever I've chosen will then show. So basically 52 telly still on the bridge and the neck, and then in the center we've got our Les Paul. So if I push the super knob, you'll watch it'll switch on and off. So that basically switches that tone capture on. So that's a really cool feature. If you were playing live and you basically were using the foot switch to change sounds, you could then use your super knob to change guitars, essentially make your guitar sound like a 58 Les Paul, etc., etc. All right, let's just jump back into our settings where we were before. There's a whole bunch of other cool things. Here we have a tuner, which if we basically have the foot switch, it will actually show whether we're sharp or flat using the actual display. Otherwise, we get a full-size display on our tablet. We can jump back out of that. All right, we got our drums. So we've got a drum machine here. We can change the style of drum. We've got lots of different types there. We can change the BPM of the drum by either scrolling up like this or tapping the speed like so. We can change the volume of our drums. And then we've just got a sync button, which basically will sync our drums to our looper if we want it to. So let's jump back into the looper now. We'll take a look. With our looper, if you don't have the foot switch, you can just press record and lay your loop and then press play and it will play the loop. If you do have the foot switch, it's quite handy because you can actually use this to, record your loops and to stop the loops and clear the loops. When you do have the drum sync function on, what it will do is it will give you a 4-bar count in before it actually starts recording. So it's really handy if you don't have the foot switch to maybe turn that on if you want to loop with drums, because then you can can press record, you can get in the position, and then you can basically start and the looper will start when the drums kick in. All right, loop is pretty self-explanatory. You've just got your volume there and then your buttons across the bottom. Let's jump back out of that. All right, so here's just a chord chart. Basically, if you're learning how to play chords, etc., you can just use this to show you where your fingers go on the fretboard in order to learn chords. You can change root notes, types, etc. Jump into all of that. Really, really handy if you're learning. We've got our mixer settings again there, just accessible from this page, the same ones as we went through. We've got a standby mode. We can rename our Bluetooth. We can also change the language, and we can check for updates on our software version as well. The new version of software that's coming out on the 22nd of June in 2026 will also contain the AI stem and AI preset information, and programs. What that allows us to do is it allows us to ask the MOOER AI to create a tone based on a famous band or a famous particular player, and the AI will generate 3 tones for you and send it back to you, and you can check them out and see if you like any of them. They're very, very good, and they get very, very close to the sound that you are chasing in most instances. So it's a good way to get 99% of the way there, and if you want to tweak it from there, you certainly can. You can then save that preset onto your device, and then you can make some more adjustments if you want to, just edit it that little bit further. The stem software basically allows you to remove instruments from a particular track. So if you've got an MP3 on your device and you want to basically remove drums, or you want to remove vocals or whatever, you can actually do that. It's also coming out with a new feature. You'll be able to slow the actual track down or speed it up as well, which is pretty awesome. Really, really handy if you're trying to learn something, and you want to just isolate that particular instrument and have a good listen to it. All right, let's jump back out of it. All right, so that's pretty much covered everything inside the app. What we're going to do now is we're just going to jump into some of the tones. We'll use the actual Footswitch and lay some loops and play some real world sounds.